across with, like, at one point had stability, then lost stability.
So wait, so you were homeless, helping homeless people.
So initially I was not homeless.
Okay.
So I wasn't homeless. I had a house full of people who were homeless, if that makes sense. Like, it was like a safe haven. Like, I've never been a person where if I see you down and out, that's just a Chicago thing in general. You see your homie, your girl, anybody you know down and out, you don't leave them there. So I'm like, you come stay with me. All along, I was walking in faith. I didn't have a job at the time, but I had a crib, the crib that the Lord was providing. It's his will, it's his bill, literally. And just, really going through that, navigating through that. In that season of my life, I called it working for God. I worked for God, literally. Ministering to people, prophesying to people, doing whatever God told me to do, looking crazy for the Lord, okay? Real crazy. And for real, like, for real. But in that journey of discovering that, taking in people who did not have homes, I became homeless. I had a 3-day notice, and I didn't know nothing about eviction processes, 3-day notices, none of that. The lady was just like, you got to go. Because at some point, I couldn't pay all of that rent by myself,
Right.
So that journey started then, but it was a beautiful journey, full of peace.
I don't know if I would have said the same, because homelessness doesn't seem like a peaceful mind. How did you have peace in that?
So, because one, you ain't had no bills, okay? Naturally. You didn't have no bills.
If it's God's will, he'll pay the bill.
Right. No, but seriously, I didn't have any bills, but that's not where the peace come. The peace came from the assurity that God would never leave me nor forsake me, even though I was in these desperate times, these times that did not make sense, which produced even the stronger gift of faith.
Right. I'm totally with you. It's amazing to hear somebody talk about their journey, right? Because you see who they are now. I'm looking at you right now. I met you about a year ago, and I would have never thought.
Hey, yo.
I would have never thought that you would have been in that position.
Oh.
Like, I would have never thought that you would have been homeless, living out your car, especially not in L.A. I never would have thought that you would have had that story. And I guess I'm saying that to say that you don't know what people have gone through by what they look like. Like, there's more to people than what they look like on the outside. What did you do to bring out the Lenore, the light? Like, is it your family background? Was your family heavily involved in church, or this was just something that God was like, this is for you and you got to go do it?
So no one never knows. I didn't sign up to be homeless. I signed up to follow God. And then following him, that led me to so many things. It led me to TV. It led me to homelessness. It led me to different states, right? It led me to different environments, different industries, different fields. I had like so many jobs, like literally like working like a Mexican.
No point intended. We love our. Shout out to everybody that celebrated Cinco de Mayo.
But literally, like, I had all those jobs just to kind of be relatable to like all different type of people. So that part of my journey, I remember I used to pray this very hard. I didn't know it was a hard prayer, but looking back, I said, "Ooh, we need to pray prayers with wisdom." Because when you follow God, you get so, oh God, I love you. I'll do anything you ask me to do. I love you. And you're saying these things from a very bold place, but very vulnerable and like a sincere place. But God's still going to back up everything you said, whether you know it or not. And I used to say, God, make me relatable to people. So when they come across me, I wouldn't be able to not minister to them.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So I feel like I went through all of that because my heart desired people, just like Jesus walked and he touched people with compassion, because something came upon him to move, to have sympathy and compassion for those people and really like heal them and things like that. So I feel like that's why my life has took so many turns.
Yeah.
Because of that, yes, and because of those secret prayers, to be honest.
Yeah. You talked about secret prayers, and I think that that's major. A lot of times people go to church and that's when they do all their religious I want to say activities, right? They just do all the traditional activities, praying, laying prostrate in front of the altar. But then when they go home, it's like they're not practicing any of that.
Yeah.
How is it important, or is it important for you to have an active spiritual life outside of the church?
Okay, that's a really good question. I think I'm an expert in that.
Well, thank you.
I want to let me answer that first question. Then I answer this. You asked me, did my family grow up in a church?
Right. Did that.
So yeah, so my mom and dad actually met in the church. I didn't know that until I started having a conversation with my daddy. I was raised by my mom.
Okay.
So when I had a connection with him, he started telling me that story. She never told me that story.
Right.
I was like, wow.
Mama, you was in the church.
No. No.
I'm just trying to figure, because you know the mission trips and church trips.
No, it wasn't me. She just had to be invited. He was invited.
Oh, okay.
That's how it was.
So they weren't listening to the word. They was looking at each other.
Yep. I did. Said, I seen it with my eyes over there, darling. No, but yeah, and I grew up in the church. So I used to go to church Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, whatever, because me and my brothers, and my mom, we was very active in ministry. And shout out to Reverend Meeks, Salem Baptist Church in Chicago, now known as House of Hope. That's where I grew up at. That's where my foundational principles are. But fast forward to you asking me having that life and having that relationship out of Christ, out of church. So when I was younger, all I knew was church. Then when I went to college, I turned up. I still knew God and I still had him in my heart, but I was outside.
Whoa. You was outside.
I was outside. I still prayed though. Like no matter what circumstance, I mean, people knew like, oh, B-Mo, she'll pray. You know what I mean?
She'll pray, but she gonna be at the party.
I'm gonna be at the party turned up. You feel me? But like, and then when God called me to himself in 2012, I lived literally like 10 years of God just raised me up himself. So my relationship stemmed in my adult life from my private prayers in my house, worn and, doing my own research and reading my word like crazy, like literally getting it in me. Like it was my own desire. I listened to sermons a day. Sermons a day keep the demons away, y'all. So
you got more.
Yeah,
that is sermons a day. Will keep the demons away.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody that's going to read a sermon. I mean, I said read a sermon, listen to a sermon to keep the. I like that.
Yeah, I came up with it. Thanks.
That's dope. Me. That's dope. That's like, I want to touch on this, and then we're going to get into some more of this gospel music. Where did you find the courage to lean on God during the ups and the downs? Because you experienced some ups that were really, really turned, but then you experienced some downtime. And I know a lot of times when we see God's hand, we always expect his right hand of fellowship, that right hand that greets you and is warm, but he also has the left hand that is just and is powerful and is judging. Yeah. And a lot of times people don't like to experience the right and the left hand of God. Yeah. How did you have a balance with experiencing those ups and the downs, the right and the left hand?
I feel like just navigating through the journey is testing and proving, right? Mm-hmm. Study to show thyself approved, experience to show thyself approved. I think a lot of people don't understand, like, God is the God of the day and he is the God of the night. God is the God of the good. He is the God of the bad. Just looking at him one side is not going to give you that fulfillment to be able to understand the truth and the facet and the dimensions of who he truly is, So I think me having a reality that God can give me good things and God can do bad things, is something that I think really, really helped me in my journey to just believe God in all situations and all circumstances, as well as just being faced with so many circumstances that forced me to rely on God and to rely on the things that he showed me and the things that he told me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because I know I struggle with that middle. Like God, you just blessed me immensely. Like, why are you taking me through this trial? But as I've come and as I grow in Christ, I see that we need both of those in order for us to be iron that sharpens iron.
Yeah, that humble brag. Like you gotta be just as humble, because when you never know when he's gonna catapult you.
Yeah.
And when he catapults you, you have to be in a position to show up, and he has to be able to trust you.